for such a generous introduction. And let me just first clear the air that I'm not an expert on textiles at all. If at all I'm a little bit of expert, I can talk about trade more than anything else. Of course, in India, trade is very closely linked to textile. Textile is one of our, as she mentioned about tradition, culture, it is embedded in our art, it is embedded on, the first industry that started in India was textile. So it's not only our culture, heritage, and tradition, but it is part of our manufacturing growth and development. And another very interesting part about this is like, of course, we are manufacturing, but at the same time, you see the entire society, every segment of society, not only top industrialists, but in terms of artists, artisans, weavers, they are all part of this ecosystem. And as I say that it has a long history, and every stage, we are moving forward in a direction that we are more visible globally. And as the buzzword, she talked about sustainability and innovation. I'll talk about it a little later, but first you see India's textile presence globally. All of you, I think, present here in this source fashion, I think most of you are experts in this field. Some of you must have had multiple opportunities, I believe, to source or to engage with Indian manufacturers, Indian artisans, Indian weavers, to do some kind of trade or engagement or business. So Indian textile, we talk about, the motifs you've seen from different states have different motifs, different weavers do different kind of design. We have entire system of dyeing from the time, immemorial. We have, intricate designs, not only the sari, she was talking about sari, I am not wearing a sari today, though it's a favorite dress, I always prefer to wear. But, in a modern term now, most of these intricate designs you can see in home textile, made-ups, furnishing, carpets. So these are our traditional heritage, but at the same time now, India is moving into the value chain, and India is one destination where you find the entire value chain of textile. That is from farm to fiber to fabric to foreign trade. Our Prime Minister has given a vision of 5F, which he talks about from farm, our cotton producers, to global trade and foreign trade. So this vision, based on this vision, we also organize an iconic event every year. Now I think we had second edition just finished, which is called Bharat Tex, and it's like one-stop shop for the entire value chain. So India is one unique country or one unique destination where you find the entire value chain from farm to fiber. Coming back to the modernization of the industry. So Government of India, first of all, has created enabling environment, but at the same time, they are also investing in technology, modernization of machine. And as I said that we have cotton, we have traditional textile, but we are also very competitive in man-made fiber. We are very competitive in modern fabric. We are also invested deeply into technical textile. Government of India is promoting that. If you see our total size of the market of Indian textile, it is around $180 billion, out of which around $40 billion we export. And by 2030, the way we are investing into it, the way we are providing the enabling environment for the people, it is going to be $300 billion by 2030. And we are next, at present, we are next to China, second globally, but I believe that that time is not too far, that that will be number one in the world. At the same time, another very important aspect which I just wanted to touch upon, because some of us driving this here are women. My entire team is women. So in India, the textile sector, when you see it's the largest employment generation sector, but at the same time you see the gender profile of that. It's like a symbol of women empowerment. At every stage of value chain, you find women involved, and now they are leading. They are also, you find them in leadership roles. They are leading the manufacturing of technical textile, modern textile, fashion, and globally also they are participating in all the iconic fashion events. So that part is very close to my heart, so I really wanted to mention that. Then on sustainability and innovation, Indian leadership, our government is very mindful of the sustainability goals and net zero goals. Our Prime Minister has given a vision which is very interesting. Of course, we do invest in clean energy. We do invest in, STPs for the manufacturers to have, proper disposal of waste. But he has also come out with a vision which is called LIFE, Project LIFE, which is for all the consumers and common citizens, that you have to adopt a lifestyle which is always driven by the goal that I'm using something which is green, I'm using something which is made through a sustainable process, and this he has asked each individual to adopt in his own or her own lifestyle. So that's very interesting, but of course linking back to the textile. Textile is something every single individual uses. And then if you are thinking from that perspective as an individual, as a consumer, then it also brings customers' demand that a sustainable textile will have more value than any other. And we also see in terms of investments in clean technologies, in terms of STPs for disposal of waste that is coming for these in dyeing and a lot of other activities that happen in manufacturing. So we have set goals for our textile manufacturers to turn towards greener, cleaner manufacturing processes. So I think I can go on for long, but we were responsible for some delays. For that, I really apologize. And honestly, that too, again, blame to London traffic. But I'm very happy to be here, and we'll be meeting after the fireside chat. And I'm also keenly looking forward to the conversation that two experts are going to have, because the topic for that is like, I think, of course, they have liberty to take conversation the way based on their expertise. But since we are talking in source fashion, so sourcing from India was something that we were really keen to talk about. And you see the entire retail sector here and in any other destination, the major textile-related items are sourced from India, and most of them have a very good experience and very interesting stories to talk about. But I'll stop here, and thank you very much for coming, and looks like a good session. Thank you so much.
An unmatched softness. Nature's bounty from the furthest corners of India. Delicately spun into threads that tell tales of a time gone by. Unique motifs fine-tuned over generations. Weaved with a secret knowledge that no other hand can replicate. One of the oldest textile traditions in the world, now yours. Naturally good, perfected over centuries. The treasures and traditions of India, offered up to the world by India's micro, small and medium enterprises.
India, where tradition meets technology. The land that is world's largest producer of cotton and jute. World's second largest producer of silk, man-made fibers and denim. The land that boasts of the largest weaving capacity in the world. A booming technical textiles market and prominent textile parks and clusters. Come, sow more as an investor, reap more as a manufacturer, and get ready to be a part of the next big textile revolution in India. Come, experience the ease of doing business with single window clearances, online processing and single tax system. Enjoy the speed of doing business with easy availability of raw materials and skilled manpower. Join hands with a nation that welcomes 100% foreign direct investment with automatic approval and strong favorable policy framework.
The rich tradition of handloom weaving finds mentions in texts as old as the Vedas. It is this heritage and excellent craftsmanship that makes Weaves of India a unique gift to people across the world. Along with representing India's diversity, the handloom sector also makes a significant contribution towards the socio-economic growth of our country. It is facilitating financial stability for over 31 lakh weaver households. The Ministry of Textile, along with the Government of India and various state governments, has rolled out multiple initiatives for the welfare and promotion of the sector.
Tex, India's largest global textile event, a showcase of the entire textile value chain, a sparkling kaleidoscope of materials and fabrics, of centuries of heritage meeting cutting-edge technology, a dynamic business opportunity inspired by the Honorable Prime Minister's 5F vision. In 2024, this was the textile event of the year, an event that attracted the world. An event that united buyers and sellers. This is now a brand that is weaving a global textile story.
भारत टैक्स का ये सूत्र स्टाइल, सस्टेनेबिलिटी, स्केल और स्किल के साथ भारत और विश्व के धागों को भी एक साथ जोड़ रहा है.
The entire textile value chain will be on display. From fibers and yarns to fabrics. From apparel and fashion to home textiles and made-ups. From handlooms to technical textiles. From handicrafts and carpets to intelligent manufacturing, all the way to retail. This is your gateway to explore and capitalize on the business opportunities in Indian textile. This is also the knowledge destination of choice for all textile professionals. Sustainability is the beating heart of Bharat Tex 2025. Recycling, material efficiency, sustainable materials and processes, circularity circuits, fashion shows, cultural performances, textile installations, industry and innovation pavilions. Meet, engage, prosper. Whether you're buying, selling or investing, this is the fulcrum of the tomorrow of textile.
From a glamorous movie to us.
And a fashion show.
And a fashion show, exactly. Maybe just we should introduce each other. Okay, I'm Jo Hales, and I've probably spent the last 30 years in retail, 25 of that in the buying world. I've worked in South Africa and in the UK, and in the last 3 years I've switched over to the manufacturing side. So some people say you've moved over to the dark side, but I must say it's been amazing to have had the sort of both sides of the coin. And that's my background. We'll talk a little bit more about India, but your background.
So I'm originally from India. I spent time across Hong Kong and now the UK. My background originally is in finance and then worked across supply chain, and now I'm working in corporate development and strategy with a fashion supply chain company.
So I think I'm the creative one in this conversation.
And I'm the boring one.
And he's probably got more of the strategic side to him. But you know, when I'm looking at and listening to the talk and focus on India. As a buyer, a trip to India was always the highlight of your year, because that was where you got the most creative energy. That's where you could get the most authentic product coming from the teams that you were working with. And that was almost the start of co-creation. And for those of you involved in buying and on the retail side, co-creation has become such an important part of the way that we work, because it's very much a sharing of your ideas and working with the teams. And I found that in India, that energy has been so propelled. And when I look from where we started sort of 30 years ago to where we are now, the focus on sustainability, the fact that India is such an amazing home and hub of raw materials. India is the biggest cotton producer in the world. If you look at the innovation, and we speak a lot about sustainability, but innovation too in things like viscose, a sustainable fiber, but the fact that India has actually taken on some of the credentials that were out in the world and made it India's own as well. That's made it a very exciting destination.
No, absolutely. I mean, Joe and I were discussing before, right? There's been such a shift, and with recent geopolitical events, I think the timing to kind of move to India, to look at India as a sourcing destination is now, right? There's so much innovation happening. There's so much push given by the government, by the Prime Minister in terms of, developing. So the question I ask, people ask me, okay, how should I look at India? So the first thing I say is, go out there and visit. Go there, visit, meet people, meet the artisans, meet the factories, or at events like this, right? And then take a plunge, make a small order, kind of just dip your feet in, and you'll see, you'll see the change. And where in the past people would say, oh, like, would I trust sourcing from India? Today, India is a preferred destination to kind of source from or to manufacture from.
And in terms of, with, as you mentioned, the geopolitical challenges that are allowing sourcing retailers to rethink, as we've spoken, India becomes a big opportunity. And what do you think some of the move-ons have been? For one of the issues that we've always had to look at is, how cost competitive is India? And, in terms of some of the new routes and zones that have been opening up, from your side.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many schemes right now going on. So, for example, you have the PLI, Product Linked Incentive Schemes. There are entire ecosystem of parks coming up, which sort of tries to link the manufacturers across the value chain, whether it's fibers, fabrics, trims, and obviously garments as well. That once you have that tight ecosystem built up, that brings that efficiency and scale and brings the cost down. So we're seeing that more and more, where it's not only a destination for sort of higher end or higher end products with sort of good where you need some sort of craftsmanship, but there's also where you can have volume orders as well that can be fulfilled out of the country. But Joe, just in your view, I know we talked about sustainability, right? And that's some subject that's close to a lot of people's hearts. What do you think sort of is happening in India when it comes to sustainability, and where people can, when they go in, what are the areas that they should look at from that perspective?
One of the big areas that customers are looking at, and when we're looking at, is how do you nearshore? How do you manufacture close to home? And I think one of the strengths of India is because it is such a hub for natural resources. We spoke about the cotton, viscose, polyesters. It is very much a case of farm to fiber, almost to needlepoint. And that is, very, very important, because it cuts down on, transporting yarns, massive waste in terms of, kind of that green energy. So that is a great ethos, and I think that's a great potential, and that is one of the strengths of India, is the fact that it is so strong in its natural resources. So that helps on sustainability, but then as well, the government has invested so much. And as we heard from our esteemed colleagues, it is a real push of the country to embrace green. So I think we feel very excited about India as a destination for manufacturing because it's moved from the creative epicenter where you've got that, but now you've got the scale, you've got the focus on efficiencies, you've got sustainability as an integral part of the manufacturing ethos. And as a woman, yes, it's great to see what a strong team and focus and women's power and how to invest in strength and attitude and upskill. It's a very inspiring place to work.
Yeah. I mean, I know we're running short of time, but I would say that it's also good to sort of think outside the box a bit. Traditionally we say, okay, for knits we go to India, or for this we go to Bangladesh, something like that. There's so much happening, so maybe it's all about sort of opening your mind up. We're working now with sort of a toys manufacturing project where companies are looking to move toys manufacturing into India as well. So the world is your oyster, really. We have that. There's an English-speaking population, well-educated, stable political environment. So all the ingredients are there, and it's all a matter of sort of taking that plunge, going and visiting. It's a great place, great food, and it's a good buying trip for any buyers looking to go there and sort of and come back with some business.
Yeah, and I mean, look, this is just a little taster because we could go on talking for hours, and we actually have behind the scenes because it's a passionate subject for both of us. But we are very much here for the next hour, so I think our time is probably over for sitting on these chairs, but if any of you want to come and have a further chat or ask some questions, we'd love to share more of our focus with you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.